Hello everybody, it's Jaff here from Clobber Records and welcome to the fourth in my series of videocasts entitled Dissecting Zen. I'm sorry I haven't spoken to you in a while. I know the third one was probably 2 or 3 weeks ago now. I've been a little bit busy, as we all probably have, and time flies past and you never really know where it goes. We've been playing some shows and I went to Ireland, which was very nice. I haven't been to Southern Ireland before, I don't know if any of you have been, but it is a very beautiful country full of castles and whiskey and beer and all sorts of good things, so that was very nice. This fourth videocast is entitled All Pain Is Mine, which sounds like a Slipknot song, I'm sure you'll agree, or is it All Hope Is Gone, I don't know. But anyway, it's called All Pain Is Mine, and it's the fourth one. If you remember, I've been discussing my journey in Buddhism and trying to bring you all along with me, or at least titillate you in some way, not the dodgy kind, if there is a dodgy kind of titillating, which I'm sure there probably is. So this is entitled All Pain Is Mine. If you've heard the new Slipknot song, it's actually not too bad. I know a lot of you probably think it's very boring and think it's a rewrite of Sulphur, but the more you listen to it, actually, it's okay. I've always appreciated Slipknot. I appreciate they've gone more commercial in later years, but they're a good band. They've been there and done it, shall we say. Anyway, this morning I've been listening to Death Angel's new album. I don't know if you've heard that. It's called Humanicide, I think. Brilliant. Death Angel never go wrong to me. I know they went through a phase of chucking all that sort of bluegrass stuff into their albums, which was a little bit tiring in places, but they are just a fucking awesome band. And probably in the big 8, if there is such a thing. I don't think we ever should dare go beyond 8, but they would be certainly the 8th in my book, with the other ones being fairly obvious, if you know anything about thrash metal, which I'm sure the vast majority of you do. So the new Death Angel is spot on. It's really thrashy and banging, so do check that out. Oh, excuse me, when you probably heard that. Terrible. So what is this All Pain Is Mine shit all about? Well, throughout this journey we've been searching for the truth. We've been trying to learn how to live in a way that makes us feel less anxious and suffer less. Now, in searching for this truth, what you need to do, and what lots of people are unable to do, is allow your mind to see something out there. Something apart from yourself. Lots of people go through life just thinking about themselves all the time. It's all how do I feel? It's I, as I explained in part 2, was it? I think. So really you need to learn to get lost in thought and imagination, and remove yourself from the immediate experience that you're in, and just live within the immediate experience. I've taught myself to do this. I assume everybody else can, because you all have one of these sat on 2 of these, and they should all work in a very similar way, certainly chemically. So it's really training your mind to do this. You just have to want to do it. You're the only one you can rely on in life. There's only you. There's nobody else. You are literally an island, which I think I covered in an earlier part. And essentially there is nothing else on which you can hang your reliance or you can put your trust in, really, because essentially it's only you. I suppose the only thing you can put your trust in is Batushka, who will remain drama-free and fully reliable for the rest of their dual careers, or whatever's going on at the moment. But seriously, you may think, what the fuck am I on about? But the point is, you have to teach your mind to be able to view life, so you become a watcher of existence. And if you do that, it takes a lot of the anguish and the pain out of it. Now, there is a phrase which is used in Buddhism and was actually made famous by an author called Murakami. So if you've ever read any of his books, they're very, very good. A Japanese author. And the phrase is, pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. Now, that seems to be fairly obvious, but it's very difficult to do. Suffering is a choice that we all make. You have to take personal responsibility for yourself. Interestingly, just while I'm on this point, Clobber Records, of which I am obviously a part, have just produced some flyers. Look at that. Isn't that ironic? Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional, written on the flyer. And on the back is, look at that, look at all those wonderful bands all along the top. Clobber releases, support new music, support Clobber, support the underground. So yes, these we'll be giving out, and I believe they're going out with some magazines and stuff in the future. So if you do get one of these, stick it on your head, stick it on your wall, stick it on your dashboard, stick it anywhere, and remind yourself constantly that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Shameless plug there. I can only apologise. It's a very beautiful day, isn't it? Look at that, sun shining behind me. It's glorious. So what is pain? Well, we all have pain. I mean, life is pretty shit, really, because as soon as you're born, you're destined to die. Everybody else around you is destined to die. Pain is around every corner. You can get ill, you can have an accident, your relationship can break down, you can end up skint and homeless, you can stub your toe on the end of the bed, you can cut your thumb while chopping onions and cry. So pain is constant. There is every reason to experience pain every day of our lives. It's utterly inevitable. But it makes you strong, and therefore you should embrace it. But what you can't do is constantly live in some self-serving cycle of anguish that stems simply from every pain that you experience in your life. Because no one else can help you. You can only help yourself. That's the serious message of this video cast this week. Essentially, we're all animals. Some of us are more animals than others. I don't know if you've been down the front of a Five Finger Death Punch gig, but there's an awful lot of animals that you'll find there. I'm pretty sure that most people watching this won't have been down the front of a Five Finger Death Punch gig, but if you have, that's where you're going to find the animals. Interestingly, I'm also, just as a side note, wearing an Absinthrapy. Oh, headphones. Just wearing an Absinthrapy t-shirt and their new cassette, their split album with Salix Babylonica from Ecuador that we released on Clobber a few weeks ago. It's just come out on cassette. So if you're into cassettes and tapes and all things retro, get yourself that, because it's a brilliant split. Really, really proud of that one. Not that I wrote it, just releasing it. So essentially, what was I talking about? Animals. Yeah, we are all animals, and it's the feelings that animals experience, such as pain, are there to keep them safe. They should guide us. So their mission is survival. Pain is telling us to change direction. So if you don't listen to that feeling, then you'll just suffer. And many people don't. They see pain as some kind of reason to spin out of control and allow it to infiltrate and affect every aspect of their lives, and therefore suffer even more than they were simply when they caught their finger on the washing machine. So essentially, yeah, it's learning to respect yourself and enjoy just being here. And we're all having fun. This festival season's coming up, and there's loads of stuff coming up. So we can all be happy, and we can all have a really good time. And I hope I see all of you around having a wonderful time. Absolutely crucifying your bodies and putting yourself through as much pain as possible, but not suffering. Don't want to see any hangovers. They're just suffering. And the reason hangovers are bad is because you're comparing it to the time when you weren't hungover. That's a cliche, isn't it? So anyway, I'm going to leave you now because I've been babbling on for 8 minutes or 9 minutes already. Don't forget the pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Grab a leaflet when you can, and hopefully everybody can live by that little mantra. Just quickly before I go, a couple of other things I've been listening to. I listened to the new Arcane North self-release, which was on Bandcamp. They're atmospheric, beautiful, raw black metal from the north of England. They've done a few things in the past. It's called Ambient Ritual 2019 in Roman numerals. 2 songs. Hauntingly absorbing. One's far more atmospheric than the other, but both of them are absolutely brilliant, so do check that out. Support the underground, as I always say. And it's playing. I wonder where they're off to. The other one is Full of Hell. Don't know if you've heard that. Jeepers. It's called Weeping Choir. It's out on Relapse. It's just a relentless barrage of noise. It's heavy as hell. It's one of the heaviest albums from start to finish I've heard in a long time. It reminds me of Primitive Man in a lot of ways, who also Ethan McCarthy, just outrageously heavy. There's a song on there called Angels Gather Here, which is towards the end of the album. I love it. I mean, live, that's just going to blow your face off. So I hope to catch them. I've never seen Full of Hell, and I know they do go down well. So I'm hoping to catch them very soon. Anyway, that was All Pain Is Mine. Not all pain is mine. If I owned all the pain in the world, I think I'd struggle not to suffer, but I'd make a fucking good attempt of it. So have a good day, enjoy yourselves, and I shall catch you soon, and hopefully do one of these a bit sooner than I did last time. So peace, stay safe, take care.